Thanks for checking out another clip on the Web Show on a cold, wet and windy day in Sydney. Going over the Harbour Bridge there to catch up with Hal McElroy, producer extraordinaire. So many amazing TV shows and films that Hal and his wife Di have produced and created, including Sea Patrol and his little example, a montage of some of the great things that have happened to Hal so far in his career.
No man has been more successful producing popular TV cop shows than Hal McElroy. This is the most successful Aussie TV drama of all time.
I'm PJ.
Constable Maggie Doyle.
And the winner is Blue Hilo.
Wow, this is a great moment. One of the great things that I love about television is we go into people's homes, and if you go into someone's homes, you go into their heart.
In the high-risk business of TV drama, Hal McElroy is the man with the Midas touch. Everything he touches seems to turn to gold.
So you didn't freeze?
No, I didn't.
Only one can win the award, and this year it goes to Water Rats, the
My God, how amazing. I mean, I think you could count the people watching Water Rats in the hundreds of millions.
Yes, there you go, a small example of some of the stuff that Hal and Di have created, and it was great to catch up with Hal for a quick chat on the Web Show.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Mate, the show I do online is all about people chasing dreams. So your dream was it always to be involved in television and film? How did it come about?
I guess you'd say it was when I was pretty young. I was in a Boy Scout gang show in Melbourne when I was in, like 12, 13, 14, 15 sort of thing. So we're performing in front of a big audience, and it was quite a success in its day. It was a vaudeville show, really. And I kind of got the smell of the grease paint then. So when I left school, which is only when I was 16 or something, I went into window dressing, believe it or not, and then I was there briefly, and then into advertising, and that's when I thought, oh wow, this is something I really like, because I really didn't know what I was going to do. And fortunately, I met Fred Skepsey before he was Fred Skepsey, and he gave me a job, 18 years old, as the production manager of his company, and paid me £10 a week. So I was in, making TV commercials, and from that moment, in other words, from my age 18, I was in the film business, so-called, and loving it, and haven't really looked back. So, but I never had a plan, to be a big-time producer or anything like that. I just wanted to be in this industry.
So how long after did something like Picnic in Hang Rock come about?
Well, Picnic in Hang Rock came about through a relationship with Peter Weir. And we'd made his first film, my twin brother and I, called Cars de Paris, and it had been a very successful partnership. The movie wasn't a big hit, and perhaps arguably was a bit flawed, but when he got hold of Picnic in Hang Rock via Pat Lovell, he asked us to come involved and raise the finance to get it made, and so we did. And so that was our second film, and I was only, I think, about 28, 29 when we made it. And looking back, we made it for about $400,000. It was pretty cheap even then. And looking back, I don't know how we made it for that, but we made it, and it was this gigantic hit. We, of course, rode high on the hog, and limousines and cigars and champagne and all that sort of stuff. Then we lost the whole lot just after I was married. Just before we had our daughter, who's now 30-some years old, because we invested in a laser light show, and it was a disaster. And we'd borrowed money to invest. It was just completely nutsy. And we lost not only everything we'd invested, but the money we'd borrowed. So we had to pay that back. So it's taken, damn near 30 years to kind of get back on top. But if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, sort of thing. And so, I've survived and prospered through the help, really, of my wife, Di, that, we're in partnership now and have been for, nearly 20 years. Yeah. Oh, I've been married for 33 years, but, in business partnership for whatever it is, 20. And very successfully, because I think that it's a lonely job, producing, and you really need a partner to help you through the dark times, because most of it's dark, or negative. There's a lot of problems that you've got to overcome to get anything made, and have anything successful is quadruply hard. So it's a tough business. You've got to be very resilient and have a lot of perseverance, and that's where partnerships make the difference.
Yeah, and it's been an awesome journey so far for both Hal and Di, creating so many jobs for so many Australians over the years and so much entertainment for us at home and in cinemas, and great to catch up with him to ask a few questions.
What's been the best time looking back? I mean, is it awards or getting films made? I mean, what's the highlight for you in your career so far?
Oh, look, I think it's tomorrow. I don't spend too much time going, wow, wasn't that fabulous, or aren't I fabulous, or any of that sort of stuff. That's a waste, really. It's not very productive. There's a saying in our business, you're only as good as your last movie. I don't think that's true. I think the correct saying is you're only as good as your next movie, because it doesn't matter what you've done. It might have been successful, but what counts is what you're about to do, and whether you convince people, that's a broadcaster or an investor or a distributor, that what you want to make is going to be a hit. And you have to have a lot of faith in yourself and the project to convince them to give you the money or the time or whatever to get it made. And so I think it's pretty dangerous to spend too much time wallowing in self-congratulations and how good you've been or what success you've had. That's wasteful. What's important is tomorrow and what you could be doing, and that tends to be what we concentrate on. Look over the horizon, see where the opportunities are. Again, like surfing, if you're going to catch a wave, you've got to look out and see it coming and get yourself in the right spot to grab it. Most of the time, as I said, you miss it, but when you catch it, it's great. And so that moment when you're catching it, and that's the process. So I think you've got to enjoy the process of making the production, not the prizes at the end, because they may never be there, and usually aren't there. So enjoy the process, enjoy the people you're working with, try and make it as good experience for them and yourself, be as positive as you can and enjoy it and laugh, I mean, one of the great things about Sea Patrol is we've got a great cast and a great crew, and we laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun making that show. People love coming to work working on that show, as we do, working 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's nothing because we like it, and so that's the payback. So it's the process is the most important thing, not necessarily the finishing line.
Yeah, so some wise words there from a man who has seen and done it all in the industry, from Picnic at Hanging Rock to The Sum of Us with Russell Crowe and Jack Thompson. So many amazing TV shows on Australian television and syndicated all around the world. And of course, Sea Patrol now doing exactly that. So great to catch up with Hal.
The show I do is about people chasing dreams, so you just touched on some stuff there, but if you had advice for someone specifically about chasing dreams, do you feel like you've chased yours enough, or what would you say to someone out there about chasing dreams in general?
Look, I think you've got to. It's essential. You've got to be strong enough, resilient enough to overcome the problems of the day, of the minute, and keep on going. I think that it's been said that we all know talented people who don't succeed. Equally, we also know untalented people who do succeed. So what's the difference? What is success about? How do you achieve success? And success comes from keeping on going, resilience, and perseverance. So and by the way, as I said, success is ephemeral. It comes and goes. If you want to go and step out, then you've got to be prepared to commit and do the hard yards to kind of get it as good as you possibly can and enjoy that process. And so looking back, I think, well, I've pretty much everything I've done, I've given it my best shot. Has it been successful? No. Impossible, mathematically. But I've enjoyed the process, and it's the process that counts. And I know on every occasion I've committed hard to it, and I don't look back and go, damn, if only I'd worked harder. I look back at mistakes and I go, but I've learned from the mistakes. I won't make that same mistake, because in our business the mistakes are public, and people will remind you of them years later. They look in the eye and say, I saw that movie and that was just absolute crap. They think, well, God, that was 3 years of my life, and this person's dismissed it in a sentence. But that's just something you have to live with,